What's going on, people? I hope everybody is cool. So I wanted to hop on here real quick, man, and give my take to Dr. Umar Johnson responding to Jaleel White, the actor who plays Steve Urkel from the TV show Family Matters. Dr. Umar Johnson gave his response to the actor Jaleel White, saying that the TV show Family Matters is not embraced by Black Americans because it wasn't a hood show. Okay, so I'm going to give my take on this, man. I would like you all to tune in with me. Now, if you have an issue with me stopping the video and giving my take as we go along, then just going on to somebody else's channel. You don't have to let me know in the comment section, okay? But I won't tear you too long. Let's dive into it. Check it out. Now, I'm doing this in live time, all right? So let's go ahead. We hit play here. See what Dr. Umar has to say.
How you feel about the actor Jaleel White coming out saying that Black people don't support, Family Matters like other Black shows because it's not a hood story?
Well, first of all, on the Jaleel White comments from Family Matters, I'm a little disappointed that nobody told me he was going to be at the Wilmington Library, Art, because as you know, the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy is a few blocks away from the Wilmington Public Library. Like, Wilmington is not a big city. With us having a property there, a school that will be opening soon, I wish someone would have sent me the notice that Jaleel White would have been there. I would have went to hear him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a snow bunny hopper too. So I'm disappointed in Jaleel, like I'm disappointed in Travis Hunter, like I'm disappointed in Drake, like I'm disappointed in Kendrick. They should all be with Black women. Nothing against non-Black women. I respect all females, but we need to keep the money and we need to keep the love inside the community. So Jaleel White just jumped the broom, he snow bunnied, and that's what it is. But I did like Family Matters. I was a fan of the show. And unlike other people, I do believe Family Matters was a good Black show. I think it was more geared towards children than adults.
Okay. I'm going to stop and give my commentary right there. Now, to me, Family Matters is definitely one of the greatest Black sitcoms ever made, first and foremost, right? Now, Dr. Umar Johnson also said that he thinks Family Matters was geared towards children more. I'm going to disagree with that statement, man. I think Family Matters went along with the times as the cast got older. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is when Family Matters first hit the air, Eddie, Urkel, all of them were kids. They were like 11, 12, etc. So it wasn't too many mature topics to dive into, okay? But as they got older, then the show started to dive into more mature topics, right? They talked about drugs, gangs, robbery, racism, etc. So I think Family Matters did what happens in real life. When you're young, you do young stuff. And when you're older things start to happen to you. And that's what happened with Family Matters, okay? When they were young, they talked about a lot of young topics. But as they got older, they started to dive into more mature topics. All right, let's keep it moving.
Martin, although children watched Martin, it was more for adults. Although children watched Fresh Prince, well, Fresh Prince could still be geared towards children, but Martin and a lot of them shows, a lot of them was more young adult shows. Family Matters, because of Urkel, was a decidedly obvious childhood show. And I thought it was one of the great childhood shows. It might have not done the numbers of Fresh Prince. It might have not done the numbers of the Cosby Show. It might have not done the numbers, of Martin and these others, the Jamie Foxx Show and the Bernie Mac Show. It may have not done the numbers, but I think it was targeted to a younger audience. And
it definitely did some numbers because it stuck around 6-8 seasons. Okay, so you don't stick around that long and not do numbers. So Black America definitely tuned into Family Matters. So I really don't understand what Jaleel White is referring to or talking about. Okay, but let's keep it. And again, it was only geared towards a younger crowd when the cast was younger. But as they got older, it started to shift towards a more older crowd. Okay, but let's keep it moving.
Appreciated it. It was not stereotypical, as was the other shows. Most of them other shows had a lot of Black stereotypes in it. Family Matters did not. And I really like Family Matters. I thought the young sister in there, she was absolutely gorgeous. I had a little crush on her.
He got to be talking about Myra. Laura was fine too, but he got to be talking about Myra. Everybody wanted Myra, man. Everybody. Let's keep it moving.
But I mean, but I thought it was a really good show until when I hear him talk about how Family Matters has been excluded from the dialogue and from the conversation of great black shows. I think it's unfortunate because I do think Family Matters was a great black show.
Yes.
I enjoyed the Urkel character. I do believe he was punished because he played Urkel. And what I mean by that, Art, Jaleel White, he was typecast. He played Urkel so well that he could never play a serious character.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that limited a lot of the opportunities he got in life. What happened with Jaleel White? I think Jaleel White played Urkel so well that he was denied a lot of other opportunities when he became an adult because of how closely he was associated with that character. So, but for me though, Family Matters goes in my top 5. Family Matters goes in my top 5. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
It was fun. I grew up on it. I appreciated it. And shout out to Jaleel. I'm disappointed that he's a bunny hopper, but I am very, I'm dismayed to know that he don't feel Family Matters is getting the credit that it deserves. I think when you talk about children's shows though, Art, we
gonna stop it right there because Dr. Umar Johnson went off into other stuff. The question initially was, how do you feel that Jaleel White said that Family Matters does not get respect among, black Americans because it wasn't a hood show? And here's my take on that, man. Again, to me, Family Matters was one of the greatest TV shows ever made. I enjoyed Family Matters. Even until this day, I still like Family Matters. And as far as Jaleel White saying black people did not embrace the show because it wasn't a hood show, listen, black people embraced The Fresh Prince. The Fresh Prince was not a hood show, okay? Black people embraced The Cosby Show. That was not a hood show, okay? It was about an upper scale black family, all right? Doctor, lawyer, etc. Black people embraced A Different World. A Different World was not a hood show. The Martin Show, okay? Martin was not a hood show. The Wayans Brothers, it was not a hood show, and black people embraced those shows, okay? So I don't know really what Jaleel White is talking about. And when it comes to making statements like, well, Family Matters was not embraced because it wasn't a hood show, to me, it's just a stereotypical statement, man. All right. And it makes it seem as if black people just want to see gangster hood themes on TV. Everything has to be ratchet. Everything has to be ghetto. No, that's not true. Black people are not a monolith. All right. We don't want to see the same thing. We don't vote the same. We don't act the same. We are not the same. OK, so when you make statements like that, it opens the door for racism, discrimination, etc., for people to talk junk about black folks. That's not true. Okay, all black people are not gangsters and ratchet and hood and ghetto, etc. That's not what black America is. Listen, you can find gangsters and ratchetness in every single race in America. Okay, so when you make those statements like that, I think it's made out of ignorance. Now listen, to debunk that statement that black Americans did not accept Family Matters because it wasn't hood. Listen, like I said earlier, The Fresh Prince was not hood. Martin was not hood. The Wayans Brothers, not hood. Okay. And a lot of other shows was not hood. A lot of other black shows, they were not hood and they were embraced by black Americans. But do you know a black show that was hood, that tried to be street, that tried to, appeal to street people, and it was not embraced by black America? Do you all remember the TV show South Central with Lorenz Tate? Okay, I believe it was about a black family growing up in South Central California, LA, etc. It was about gangs, poverty, and drugs and guns and that show was not watched among black people. Okay, black Americans did not tune into South Central. They were not interested in seeing that particular TV show. Okay, it only lasted about 10 episodes, and one of the reasons it went off the air, or probably the only reason, was because people did not watch it. Nobody checked out the show. Okay, so to sit up and say that all black people want to see is hood shows and gangster shows, that's not true. Okay, and when you make statements like that, I believe it's made out of somewhat of an ignorance, right, and somewhat of a stereotypical mindset. Okay, because like I said, black people are not the same. We don't all want to see the same thing. We don't vote the same. We are not the same. We don't act the same, etc. Okay, so in closing, man, to me, Family Matters was definitely one of the greatest shows ever made that ever aired on TV. And like I said earlier, when they were young, when the cast was young, Eddie, Laura, and Urkel, etc., when they were young, a lot of childish things happened. But as they grew older, more mature things started to happen, okay? From topics about sex, drugs, robbery, and racism, etc. So I don't know what Jaleel White is talking about when he says that black Americans don't embrace Family Matters because it was a hood show, because I loved Family Matters and a lot of black people that I know loved Family Matters. So it definitely goes down as one of the greatest TV shows, man. So you got to stop making stereotypical comments about black folks, man. We are not a monolith. We don't just want to see hood things and ghetto things and crazy things and shooting and robbery and gangs. That's not what we're all about. Okay? And that's what I got to say about this, man. To God be the glory. Y'all be blessed. Peace.